Each spring, seasonal allergies wreak havoc on the sinuses of lots of folks. So today we're asking Bryce Wild, author of Power Plants, Simple Home Remedies You Can Grow, how we can use nutrition to breathe a little easier. Welcome, Bryce.
Thanks so much for having me, Desiree. Yeah, plants can be our friend, but unfortunately this time of the year can also be our foe. So here to share with you all kinds of tips and tricks as it relates to honing in and toning down on those allergy symptoms for which, unfortunately, post-pandemic, if you've got them, you're wearing that scarlet letter. A lot of actual specialists, including myself, believe that this year more than any is going to cause a lot of absenteeism from work because you don't want to show up with itchy eyes and runny nose and maybe a cough for fear of your colleagues thinking that it's something other than allergies.
Yeah, we definitely want to avoid that. So tell us, what's the surprising connection between respiratory allergies and diet? Can you walk us through that?
Absolutely. Three things to keep in mind. First of all, if you'll indulge me here, let's start by taking out the trash. Vegetable oils, that's got to go. Refined oils, sugar, we've all heard about how bad that is, especially for gaining too much weight. And unfortunately, baked goods, particularly those with lots of gluten. So breads, cakes, cookies, that's got to go. You got to get that rid from your pantries and your fridge. But then if we move over here, first up is grass. That's what around the corner for the Bay Area and Northern California here. And the surprising connection, something that your allergist would never tell you, or even your doctor, is certain foods have a direct genetic and even protein correlation to grass. So we're looking at potatoes, peanuts, not the allergy that'll send you to the hospital if you're allergic to peanuts, but the crossover to grass, tomatoes, onions, melons. All of these, you got to reconsider these, even kiwis, and consider getting them out of your diet for now during the allergy season because they're related to grass, and that might help to tone down your immune system. Second, unfortunately, if you can see this, a charcuterie plate. Alcohol, that's got to go, unfortunately, for now. Certain meats, deli meats, I mean, that's out. Ripe bananas, go figure, as well as dried fruits, cheese, and even food colorings. And by the way, avocado. So what do all these foods have in common? Well, they're actually high in histamine, Desiree. So, of course, we've heard the notorious histamine. That's why you reach over the counter at your local drug food or health food store for an antihistamine. These foods provoke histamine upregulation, of course, make the symptoms worse. And then lastly, as it relates to food, we got to consider eating like our ancestors ate. So a lot more berries, nuts, eggs, organic or grass finished beef, fish. I've got carrots out here to represent the vegetable family. But at the end of the day, these foods are going to help to regulate the immune system as it relates to inflammation.
All right, so you took out the trash with the bad foods that we should not be eating. And then it's interesting to know about some of the foods that we may normally eat that could trigger our allergies. Are there any other foods that we should know about that could trigger those allergy symptoms right now?
So great question. This all boils down to N of one, the individual. So you want to ask your doctor or your specialist to run simple blood analysis on you to determine what your immune system simply doesn't like within your diet. It's possible. It's called IgE and IgG food sensitivity paneling. So simple blood work, you can look at over hundreds of different foods. If your body doesn't agree with it, and it could be healthy, it's not what's good or bad for you, you got to remove that from your diet so as to regulate or tone down the immune response during allergy season.
Okay, good things to know. And could you talk about the concept of eating like our ancestors? What does that mean and how can we do that?
Yeah, sure. So as I mentioned here earlier, like meats, grass-finished meats and fish, Paleolithic, what this refers to is eat like we used to eat 20, 30,000 plus years ago, because that's what our immune systems have evolved millions of years to be good with. At the end of the day, what we're introducing, as I took the trash out earlier, we're introducing all kinds of refined foods, sugars, cakes, cookies, pastries, pastas, all these things. Our immune system actually hasn't developed a tolerance for grain, believe it or not, and yet we have a hugely grain-focused diet. So what we need to do is eat like our ancestors, a lot more grass-finished organic beef, as I mentioned, fish, vegetables, nuts, seeds, berries. We were hunter-gatherers. And guess what? At the time, allergies theoretically didn't actually even exist. So it's a very new age phenomenon due to a dysregulated immune system. And by the way, as it relates to my 20 plus years in clinical practice, I really feel like one of the parts of our anatomy that's left out and that we don't often get relief from is the eye. So I'm holding up this little eyeball here. The eye, itchy, watery, runny eyes. I mean, we can't work, we can't see our screens, can't draw, can't
Right.
operate. So there's some natural relief. And as I wrote the book Power Plants, it actually comes from plants. You want to look not for harsh chemicals and vasoconstrictors. Most of the drops over the counter at your pharmacy that's going to contain that. You want to look for stuff that contains none of that, all plant based. So eye bright flower and sabadilla lily. And I love this one here called Allergy Eye Relief. This is Similasan. They're a Swiss family owned company. These
Perfect.
guys make no harsh chemical or antihistamine drop.
Ooh,
You can use
good
it as
to
often
know.
as you
Bryce, I
need
got
it.
to wrap you there because our show's coming to an end. But you got us prepared for allergy season, which Sacramentoans appreciate because it's hitting us right now. For more info, you can visit wildonhealth.com.